Would anyone younger than me like to come and hear a story this morning? Anyone? Ah, here comes Catherine. Here comes Anna. Anyone else? Great. Oh, this box is really heavy this morning. I can hardly lift it. Oh my goodness. I don't think I had enough breakfast. I wonder what's in this box. Do you think it's an old story? Do you think it's the whole Bible and a humongous rock? Can you see through this box? Well, all I know is it's really heavy. So, Hannah, you're right, it's an old story. How do we know? Because it's the desert. It's the desert cloth. It's the cloth that tells us we're in the land. Oops. They're in the land where Jesus lived. We have seen this before, but I don't think we've seen this part of the story before. And there's something I have to tell you about this story. Because it's kind of sad in the middle. And it gets better after that. So I just want you to know that so you don't get upset when we tell the sad part. Okay? So let's see what this story is. So some of this story, a little bit of this story, the children heard last week, and I think Hannah's and Theo are the only ones that were here. So this may be new. But we met Jesus last week. And Jesus felt God in his heart and loved God really, really deeply. Really, really. Remember that heart bread we talked about? He loved God that much, just like heart bread. And Jesus really wanted the world to be a place of love and peace. But the world wasn't like that. And his followers really liked what he had to say. And they wanted to be just like him. And his followers were all different kinds and sizes and ages of people. But, and they wanted Jesus to be the king of the world because they thought he would be a really good ruler because of how much he loved. But last week we also met somebody else. And his name was Pilate. And Pilate was the ruler in this land. And Pilate, when Jesus arrives, wanted to make sure there was no trouble, so he brought his army, a whole bunch of soldiers, to make sure that Jesus didn't ever become the ruler. Well, what happened during the week was Jesus was arrested, which means he was taken into a court, and he was put on trial, and he was killed. Isn't that sad? He was killed. Yeah. And he died. And when he died, some friends of his took his body and put his body in a hole, like a cave in the rock, called a tomb, with a big stone in front of it. So, a couple of days later, some of Jesus' followers, who were very sad, wanted to go, and one of the things that they did in their country at that time was they would take perfumes, oils that smelled really nice, and they would cover a body when someone died. And that was something that they did. And so they went to the tomb to do that. And on the way, they were worried about how they would get in because of the big stone. But you know what happened? When they got there, the stone had already been rolled away. And they came and they looked in the tomb, and guess what? There was nobody there. Can you see in there? Doesn't look like there's anybody in there. And they were really upset because they came to find Jesus and Jesus wasn't there. But all of a sudden, this young man in a dazzling white robe appeared and said to them, "Don't be alarmed. Don't be afraid. Jesus is not here. But look around. Just look around. His spirit is everywhere. Jesus is alive because God is alive." The women didn't know what to do. But as they left, they started looking for signs of Jesus. Started looking for him everywhere they went. I wonder what a sign of Jesus would look like. What? A robe? Oh, so if you actually saw Jesus again, he would have holes in his hands. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I wonder if there are other signs of Jesus. I wonder if helping someone might be a sign of Jesus. Or I wonder if someone helped you, if that might be a sign of Jesus. I wonder if a hug might be a sign of Jesus. Maybe. I wonder if planting a flower or planting carrots and watching and helping them grow might be a sign of Jesus. You have to water them. You have worms? You're lucky. I wonder what we might do that would be signs of Jesus. I wonder what we might do. Anyway, we have some ideas about signs for Jesus, signs of Jesus. And back on the tables in the corner, Mark and Julie have some things for you to turn into signs. And we're going to invite you to do that, and then later in the service, we're going to get to see what you have created. Does that sound okay? Oh, it'll be great. It'll be great. And we're going to sing a great song called "Hey Now, Singing Hallelujah." More voices now.